I'm a house of open windows. I can ground all I want and still take on other people's stuff and not know that it's not mine for a while.
Welcome to the Human Design Projectors Society podcast. I'm your host, Zette Harbor. Join me as we explore and dive deeply into the brilliance, the beauty, and the power of what it is to be a projector. Kristen, thank you so much for joining the Human Design Projectors Society podcast today. I'm so excited to explore your chart with you. And I'd love it if you feel inspired to share a little bit about yourself with our viewers.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. I'm really excited. And I am a coach for tired, frustrated entrepreneurs who want to get back into inspired flow, which once we're in flow, we earn more money, we grow our businesses with more ease, and we're generally happier in our lives. So that's what I do professionally, and profession and personal life tend to weave together quite a bit for me. So I'm creative. I have a lot of fun. I'm a stick figure artist, which is that's been a really whimsical addition to my life and now my career.
That's exciting. Yeah, I would love to see some of that stick figure art, explore more of what that looks like and means. We're going to jump right in then, and I will share your chart as well as initially, I do like to just give the guest and whoever's watching a chance to see my chart because it helps you understand the lens through which I'm viewing this. I'm a 3/6 profile, so I am going to experiment and have the capacity to offer objective perspectives where correctly recognized and invited. And I'm a self-projected projector, so speaking is really how I discover what's correct for me. And so you can see I have a G, a throat, and a defined ajna. And what's going to be fun, Kristen, is you and I share these two channels, and I'm excited to hear your experience of those as well. I wonder, though, if you would start a little bit by telling us, when did you get introduced to human design? And when you learned that you were a projector, what happened for you when that happened?
I learned I was a projector around 10 years ago when I had come upon the realization that I would like to get married. And I was not in a relationship at that time. I was just like, I'm ready for partnership. And a friend of mine was studying human design, and she's like, let me do your chart and we'll be able to figure out who you go best with. And she told me I was a projector and that I would go well with generators. And what I know now, 10 years later, is she wasn't very studied. And this maybe wasn't the best advice for me, but I didn't know any different. And yeah, and I actually attracted my husband in 3 weeks, and he and I realized we'd be married within a week. There was a quick turnaround, and I lost track of human design for a couple years until I attracted a friend who she's a generator, and we were cooking together, and she'd be like, oh, you do that because you're a mental projector. Oh, that happens because you're a projector. Oh, and I learn when people throw out little bits like that. And I said, how about I'll buy you the book about this and you can teach me more? She's like, wonderful. The book arrived the day after she had visited me. So I opened the package and I started reading the book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so me. And she never got the book. So that's how
that
I
sounds
came.
Perfect, actually.
It didn't make a whole lot of sense to my mind at the time, but there's that something higher that I learned to trust. It was just like, you need to keep reading here. That's what I follow most of my life, is that something higher. So there's what my mind says, and then there's the extra, and I follow the extra, and that tends to guide me to the most interesting destinations.
Oh, I love that story. And as projectors, we are correctly, when we decide to dive in and study a system particularly and dive in deeply, that's really correct for us. So how lovely that life very serendipitously brought that to you, right? You ordered the book for someone else, which is also probably a projector thing to do, right? and, and it was really the correct thing for you. And yeah, thanks for mentioning that you are a mental projector. And for anyone who isn't aware, that means that there is no definition below the throat. So you have no motors defined. You do not have the splenic or the G center defined. And love to hear a little bit from you too about your experience as a mental projector. It's the way you're going to come to clarity, the way you're going to access your wisdom, which I love how you described it's up here, is through talking to a wide variety of people, or perhaps just a variety of people. You can tell me what your experience has been. And it's in, at least it's described as sensing what's in the environment every time you speak to someone different. That informs you. So please share some of that for us.
When I understood that the way I make decisions is through environment, is how I think of it, is it made so much sense. When I've always chosen my Airbnbs just by how they feel, and ones that look good but don't feel right, I don't choose. And I've never had a bad Airbnb. I internet dated that way. I could feel these humans before I connected with them, which kept me out of a lot of sticky situations. Mm-hmm. It really works for me. It also explains why I can't force myself into places that don't feel right and situations that don't feel right. And